My CEO wife watched me tear up every document. I was ready to take on her family's corporate empire. Only then did she finally realize she could no longer control her husband. But when she saw the divorce papers, she froze. They said I'd leave with nothing, even give up custody. Our marriage has been dead for years. I'm done pretending. Sign it. It's better for both of us. You and your mom want Ryan West in my place. I'll move aside. With that, I left the cage they called home. I thought she would be reasonable and sign. Instead, she tore it to shreds again. Since I was young, the Sterlings trained me to be their son-in-law. I married Chloe Sterling at 20. At 22, we had our son, Noah Hayes. Noah was like Chloe, quiet and distant, never close to me. Last night, he spoke to me for the first time. Dad, Uncle Ryan is sick. He's about to die. His wish is to marry Mom. Can you divorce her? In that moment, I gave up all hope for them. Then divorce it is. At breakfast, I handed Chloe the divorce papers. I thought about our son's words all night. Since he likes Ryan West that much, I'll give up custody and walk away with nothing. Put our marital assets under our son's name. Count it as my child support. Chloe set down her coffee and looked up. Were you just talking to me? I looked at the Bluetooth earbud in her ear. She hadn't heard a single word. A deep helplessness washed over me. Every time I spoke to her, this was all I got. I flipped to the last page and handed it over. Sign it. It won't take more than a few minutes. Chloe frowned at me and was about to read it when Noah ran over. Mom, aren't you playing pool with Uncle Ryan later? I want to go. As Chloe stood up, I grabbed her wrist. Sign first. Chloe finally looked at me, surprised I could be this firm. Beside us, our son kept rushing her. Mom, hurry. If Uncle Ryan waits too long, he'll make you kiss him again. Fine. I'll give you what you want. The next second, Chloe signed without reading a word. The two of them soon walked off. I didn't look again. I picked up the pen and wrote my name, Ethan Hayes, beside hers. In this life, Chloe's name and mine appeared side by side twice. The first was on our marriage license. The second was here. After signing, my hand was still shaking. I closed the papers and sent them to the lawyer I'd hired. Then I went upstairs to pack. The closet was full, but I didn't like a single piece. No one knew that before 16. I loved laughing out loud. I loved bungee jumping and racing cars. But after I married Chloe, I was taught rules. I had to be humble and gentle, because the Sterlings only needed a proper Mr. Hayes. Even then, Chloe's friends only mocked me. They called me fake and said Ryan West suited Chloe better. Thinking of that, I stared at Mr. Hayes's clothes. A sharp nausea hit me. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. Took a while before I looked up at myself in the mirror. Suddenly, divorce felt right. I couldn't keep living in this cage. I wanted out. I wanted to be myself again. So I called my buddy to pick me up. The Sterling house wasn't home. After I married Chloe, the Hayes family stopped caring, so they weren't home either. My buddy soon showed up outside, looking confused. How do you have time for me? It's your birthday. Didn't you say you'd spend it with your wife and son? I froze, took out my phone, and opened our chat. Only then did I see I'd booked a birthday dinner a week ago. I had even sent Chloe a date invite. But even now, she still hadn't replied. Before, I might have felt hurt. Now I was numb. So I got in the car and went to the restaurant with him. But when we gave my reservation number, the manager awkwardly offered a refund. Sir, Ms. Sterling booked the place. She and her son are throwing Mr. Hayes a birthday party. We'll refund double your deposit. No refund. The man standing in front of you is Mr. Hayes. But as we walked in, happy laughter came from a family of 3. Chloe and Noah were giving Ryan West birthday wishes. Wishing you peace and smooth sailing. May Uncle Ryan's wish come true. Marry Mom and be my dad. I watched the 3 of them sit down, smiling. Chloe's eyes never left Ryan. And Noah thoughtfully pulled out Ryan's chair. He poured tea and straightened his clothes. After 5 years of marriage, Chloe didn't even know my birthday. Forget birthday wishes. My own child had never poured me water. My buddy couldn't take it and wanted to confront them for me. But I stopped him. No need. Chloe and I have signed the divorce papers. He took me to his place. I didn't cry, but he hugged me and cried. Chloe is a wicked woman. Noah is an ungrateful brat. Calm down. How is Noah an ungrateful brat? For 5 years, you lived 24/7 for them. No job, no friends. I finally got you out. Then Chloe called once. And you ran home, happy as a kid, to make her hangover soup. When your son cried during weaning, you stayed up night after night. You gave them everything and got betrayed. I know you're hurting. If you want to cry, just cry. Listening to him ramble, I tilted my head back and drank some beer. Then I leaned back on the couch. I can't cry now, but I cried plenty before. When Mrs. Sterling forced rules on me, I told Chloe, and she ignored me. On snowy nights, I waited for Chloe until midnight. She never came home. When Noah spiked a fever at midnight, I still hoped, until I called Chloe, and she hung up on me. I once dreamed of a loving wife and a devoted son, but they never saw me. 5 years. I should have woken up long ago. After getting drunk, I slept hard. Early the next morning, Chloe called. She sounded like she'd just woken up, her voice rough. "Where's the necklace I wear on Mondays?" "In the first drawer of the walk-in closet." "What about the matching earrings?" "In the drawer under the necklace." After that back and forth, I remembered we were about to divorce. I would never need to do this again, so I kindly reminded her. "Have the housekeeper redo your closet. Ask them when you need something. We're about to divorce. Calling me to find things isn't appropriate." After that, Chloe just gave a flat hum. I could still hear drawers sliding on her end. I thought I'd said enough and was about to hang up. Then Chloe told me to make seafood congee for lunch these next few days. Deliver it to the CEO's office at Sterling Group. Then she hung up. So she hadn't heard a word I said about divorce. I took a deep breath, so angry my fingertips shook. Then I blocked Chloe. After thinking it over, I blocked Noah's preschool teacher too. But I forgot to block Mrs. Sterling. So after I finally slept enough and headed out for lunch, she stopped me and made me get in her car. She flung a stack of photos at my face. They were all intimate shots of Chloe and Ryan. "You disappoint me. Since you were 16. I trained you myself. 10 years later. And you still can't keep your wife's heart. If I'd known you were this useless, I shouldn't have rejected Ryan for being illegitimate." The sharp photo corners cut my neck and drew blood. When the Sterlings chose me as their future son-in-law, friends envied my luck. But the price was losing my freedom at 16. My life was all about becoming Mr. Hayes. I could barely breathe. Senior year, I rebelled and dated someone, making sure Chloe found out. I thought she'd call off the engagement. She said nothing. I was married to Chloe for only 5 years, but they controlled me for 10. I'd had enough. Chloe and I signed the divorce papers. I'm giving up custody and leaving with nothing. If you're unhappy, find a better son-in-law. Then I opened the door to get out. Mrs. Sterling froze for a second, then snapped. She grabbed my wrist. "Ethan Hayes, don't you dare." Her sharp, blood-red nails dug into my skin like needles. But I smiled. There's nothing I don't dare do. Being the Sterling's son-in-law was never my honor. I pulled up my sleeve. For the first time, I showed an outsider the old scars on my wrist. Mrs. Sterling saw the scars, twisted like centipedes, and let go in shock. I never wanted to be Mr. Hayes. Do you know, over these 10 years, what I screamed in my dreams every time? I screamed, "Someone please save me." But now I get it. Only I can save myself. Only by being free and being myself can I live. I said it calmly, then got out. This time, Mrs. Sterling didn't stop me. But the weight in my chest stayed. I had to let it out. So I took my bright red supercar out of storage and floored it. But Chloe must be my curse. As I shot through an intersection, I slammed into a Maybach. The plate had 5/8. It was Chloe's car. Someone quickly got out. It was Chloe's assistant. She froze when she saw me. "Mr. Hayes?" Her shock didn't surprise me. After 5 years of marriage, everyone around Chloe already had me boxed in. A man like that racing cars would seem strange. I didn't explain. I just handed her a card. "Tell me what I owe." Then I put on my sunglasses, hit the gas, and left. The assistant soon returned to the Maybach. She told Chloe, "Ms. Sterling, the driver was Mr. Hayes." Chloe rubbed her temples and said coldly, "Let's go." As if the driver being her husband or a stranger made no difference. The assistant knew better than to ask. But 3 hours later, the couple met again. Chloe was signing a land development deal with a partner. At a suburban racetrack, where a race was underway, a red sports car took first with pure pulse racing swagger. The driver got out in a fitted dark red racing suit, tall and lean. He was so striking no one could look away. Even Chloe looked clearly impressed until he removed his helmet. Her assistant gasped, "Mr. Hayes is that good at racing?" Chloe said nothing. She just saw the women around him, staring at that tall figure with hungry eyes, and frowned. When I felt Chloe's gaze, I didn't look up or greet her. All these years, except at high society events, whenever we met, she usually acted like she didn't know me. So when the out-of-town race organizer introduced us, I acted like a stranger too. Miss Sterling, I've heard a lot about you. Chloe stayed expressionless. The air turned awkward. Then Ryan's voice rang out. Hi, everyone. Chloe, are you done? If so, let's head back to the office for lunch. I turned and saw Ryan get out of the Maybach. He walked over and casually wrapped an arm around Chloe's waist. Ryan probably didn't think I was worth seeing as a rival. He even smiled at me. After they walked away, someone sighed. Miss Sterling even brings Mr. West to work. They must be so in love. Chloe's assistant hadn't left. Hearing that, she gave me a strange look. I guess she was thinking, how can a man be this pathetic? I said nothing and left the racetrack too. Then I called my lawyer right away to ask when I could get the divorce certificate. We need 7 days. 7 more days. That's fine. I survived 10 years. I can wait 7 days. But not long after I calmed down, Chloe's assistant called. When is the seafood kanji coming? Also, Noah's teacher says she can't reach you. His craft project wasn't turned in. Are you free to drop it off? I remembered that before Noah told me to divorce his mom, I was watching a phone video and stitching his craft project by hand. Before I left home, it was only half done. I looked up at the free clouds in the sky and said calmly, tell Chloe, there's no seafood kanji. I won't deliver it again. And I won't handle Noah's matters anymore. Don't contact me again. Then I blocked the assistant too. Meanwhile, at Sterling Group, the assistant held her phone, embarrassed. Miss Sterling, Mr. Hayes hung up on me. I called again, but it won't go through. I think he blocked me. Maybe you should try? For once, Chloe took out her phone. She opened the contact saved as husband and sent a message. Why are you acting like this? The next second, a red deletion notice popped up in the chat. Friend verification is on. You are not his friend. Send a friend request first. You can chat after approval. The assistant saw the chat history on Chloe's screen. The last message was already a week old. Oh, I didn't know Mr. Hayes and Mr. West shared a birthday. So yesterday was Mr. Hayes's birthday too. Miss Sterling, you didn't send a gift? I didn't notice. The assistant wasn't surprised. After all, the phone showed pages of messages, and Chloe hadn't replied to a single one. Then Chloe ordered, make up a birthday gift for him. Pick something nice. Yes, Miss Sterling. The assistant answered. Before she could take out her phone to choose a gift, Chloe was already reading documents. The assistant sighed and quietly left the office to pick one fast. By evening, Chloe's assistant brought me a birthday gift. Mr. Hayes, this is a belated birthday gift from Miss Sterling. It looked nice enough, but I refused it. I had no idea what Chloe was trying to say. My birthday was over. What was the point? Besides, for 10 years I had one birthday wish, freedom. By divorcing me, Chloe gave me that wish by accident. I thought we'd have no contact while waiting for the papers. But after the assistant left, Mrs. Sterling texted me. Ethan Hayes, I won't interfere in your divorce from Chloe, but until it's final, my grandson can't be affected. How could Noah be affected? He was the one who asked me to divorce his mom. Before I could reply, her texts kept popping up. If you don't want this divorce delayed, come to the estate this weekend and stay with my grandson. Chloe never liked crowds. After we married, we left the Sterling estate for our villa. After Noah was born, we took him to the estate every weekend. Today was Friday. Usually, I picked Noah up from preschool and took him there. Chloe was always busy and rarely came home before 10. This time, I went straight to the estate. To my surprise, Chloe was already there. I ignored her and headed upstairs, but Chloe blocked me. Then she asked out of nowhere, "Did you like the birthday gift?" I stared at her, confused. Did she not know I refused it? But that made sense. She treated me like air. Why would she remember if I took a gift? I didn't want to talk. I gave a half-hearted nod. Then she ordered, Noah is carving Ryan a protection charm. Go help him finish it. Oh, so that birthday gift came with strings attached? Then I bumped past Chloe on purpose and went upstairs in silence. Chloe frowned, but said nothing. On the second floor, Noah was sitting at his desk. He held a carving knife, working with total focus. I walked over. Only then did I see a finished charm in front of him. He was copying it line by line. My footsteps must have disturbed him. Noah looked up at me. But the next second, he quickly grabbed the one on the desk. The finished protection charm. Dad, Mom carved this for Uncle Ryan. You can't steal it. My chest hurt. The child I once treasured more than life looked at me like a thief with a face so much like Chloe's. A tightness rose in my chest. You don't have to guard against me. I never wanted what wasn't mine. And your mom and I are divorcing soon. Before long, Uncle Ryan will be your new dad. Ethan Hayes, talking like that to a child, are you even a decent father? That was probably the longest thing Chloe had ever said to me. I turned, looked at her cold face and smiled. Right, I'm not decent. Then find him a decent father. I headed for the door. Ethan Hayes. Chloe came over and grabbed my hand, her low voice full of warning. Just then, Noah's smartwatch rang. He urged her happily. Mom, it's a video call from Uncle Ryan. The next second, Chloe let go of me. I watched her answer it. Her icy face turned into a smile. Suddenly, it all felt pointless. I went back to the guest room. I shut and locked the door. The room was cold. It was June, but I felt like I was in a coffin, buried underground. Yet it brought a familiar kind of peace. From the moment I handed Chloe the divorce papers, I had already made up my mind to burn it all down. My dreams were a mess that night, but the next day, my body clock still woke me at 5. I used to get up then and make breakfast for Chloe and Noah. I rubbed my brow. Thinking of Mrs. Sterling's threat, I went down anyway. Only then did I learn Chloe and Noah had left early. They were meeting Ryan to watch the sunrise. I found it ridiculous. Anyone could see Noah didn't need me as his dad. Yet Mrs. Sterling insisted I come back to the estate. Once I got through the weekend, my buddy took me to campus to see girls. He said he'd help me blow off steam. 18-year-old girls knew how to cheer a guy up. They sweetly called me handsome and gave me all the validation I needed. After a few rounds of games and laughs, I really did feel much better. My buddy didn't even want to leave. So, now you see what's great about younger girls? Doesn't that old woman Chloe seem totally not worth it now? I don't love her anymore. Hearing that, my buddy got even more fired up. That's more like it. Ha. I'm telling you, you should have divorced her long ago. Anyone would treat you better than cold, heartless Chloe. Pick a sweet, obedient young girl to date and marry. Wouldn't that be bliss? I was smiling, about to agree, when someone coughed behind me. I turned and saw Chloe and her assistant standing nearby. I pretended not to see them and pulled my buddy away. I thought Chloe wouldn't care about this little scene either. But she stepped up and grabbed me. There's a party I need you at. Come with me. Then she gave me no chance to refuse and dragged me into the car. Once in the car, I was still a little dazed. In my mind, Chloe had always treated me like air. She had no feelings about me, no opinions either. I'd only seen this forceful side of her at night in my bedroom. Just as I snapped back, she suddenly spoke. Ethan, in families like ours, being a good match matters most. I paused, then realized she was pushing back on what my buddy and I said. I laughed, furious. So love doesn't matter. Being cared for doesn't matter. But your good match means I suffer in silence. Why? Chloe stared at me for several seconds, but said nothing. I didn't want to waste energy guessing what she felt anymore. When we got to the private club, I realized it was just a small get-together with Chloe's friends. She had never brought me to this kind of thing before. I never really liked these friends of hers. They looked down on me and always called me fake. So I didn't smile once. I just drank a little. Later, a bit drunk, I got up and went to the restroom. After I left, someone couldn't wait to ask. Your husband not only didn't smile today, he even gave you attitude? Yeah. Everyone's saying you two are getting divorced. Who said I'm getting divorced? Since I married him, Ethan Hayes is the only husband I'll ever have. Her friends were a little shocked. Are you serious? Chloe glanced at her and said nothing. Her friend gave her a strange look. After a long pause, she murmured, remember Ms. Parker, the CEO who worked with you on AI development? She used to ignore her husband and keep him out of her company. No one even knew he was her husband. I hear she still hasn't won him back. If you plan to spend your life with Ethan, take it from me, show him more care, or your husband may end up like hers. Chloe's hand paused as she swirled her glass, but she said, cold and certain, he won't. Meanwhile, I was in the restroom. Just then, my divorce lawyer texted me. Mr. Hayes, your divorce certificate with Ms. Sterling has been finalized. You can pick it up anytime. At last, this day had come. Couldn't wait. I grabbed a cab to the law firm. I opened it and read it again and again. From now on, I could finally stay away from the hellish Sterlings. After we left, my buddy said we had to celebrate my freedom. First, with a dinner I was never allowed to eat. Then he took me to the night market food stalls. Milk tea, barbecue, ice cream. Eat whatever you want. With grilled meat in the air, I finally felt alive. That night we ate skewers, drank beer, and laughed out loud. In the end, I laughed until I cried. The chains that held me for 10 years finally melted away. Maybe I'd held it in too long. I unblocked my son, Noah, and called him. As soon as it connected, I spoke through red eyes. Noah Hayes, listen. You may not like me, but I am your biological father. I cared for you day and night when you were sick. I helped you with homework every day. You called me vicious for Ryan West, an outsider. From then on, I stopped being your dad. Don't call me dad. You don't deserve to. Chloe's cold voice came through the phone. Ethan Hayes, what are you saying? I froze, then realized the child was probably with her. I sneered at once. Ms. Sterling, if you have time to lecture me, try raising your son. Did you know? Your son told me to divorce you so Ryan West could take my place. The funny part is, I gave you all exactly what you wanted. Then I blocked Noah again. Early the next morning, I booked a flight abroad. I knew I had gone too far yesterday, and once the divorce got out, the Sterlings wouldn't let me go. They might force me to kneel and beg Chloe to remarry me, or force me to marry some rich heiress. I had to escape the capital. I would never come back. After saying goodbye to my buddy, I packed light and left. But at the entrance, I saw a Maybach parked nearby. Chloe got out with Noah and walked toward me. Noah, apologize to your dad. Noah kept his pale little face tight, clenched his shirt, and bowed. Dad, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have cursed at you. And I shouldn't have asked you to divorce Mom. I know I was wrong. Can you forgive me? No need. I already vented what I needed to. I don't care anymore. But after I said that, Chloe actually spoke. I'm sorry. I didn't raise Noah right. I'm responsible too. I never thought I'd hear Chloe apologize first, but the damage was done. Could one sorry erase it? Then I remembered what was in my bag, the thing I'd planned to mail Chloe from the airport. So I said directly, Chloe Sterling, if you're really sorry, drive me to the airport. The Sterlings have no trips outside the capital lately. Where are you flying? Can't I have my own business? That's not what I meant. For the first time, Chloe looked confused. But I didn't care. She brought me into the Sterling cage. Now she should send me out. She should cut our last tie herself. We rode to the airport in silence. Before I got out, I gave Chloe a beautiful box. One last gift. Chloe froze for a second. She wondered what I meant by last, but still took it. Thank you. Noah couldn't help looking up and asking, Dad, where's mine? Yours is in there too. After all, it was a perfect gift for both mother and son. They should be happy. Remember, open this gift in 1 hour. By then, my plane should have taken off. Chloe gave me a rare warm look. Come back soon. I smiled, said nothing, and turned away. I would never come back. I was going to chase my freedom. Chloe kept watching me enter the airport. For some reason, that lonely back filled her with unease. She gripped the box, about to open it, but Noah stopped her. Mom, we promised Dad. We can only open it after an hour. We have to keep our word. For the next hour, Chloe held a file but couldn't read a page. She lost count of how many times she checked the box. Finally, time was up. Noah grabbed the gift box and opened it first. Mom, what did Dad give us? Why so mysterious? The lid came off. Chloe turned and saw it clearly. Inside lay only a divorce certificate. Noah was only 3, but he'd already started early lessons. He stared at the certificate. His little mouth mumbled for a long while. Mom, what's a divorce certificate? Didn't Dad say it was a gift? Is this little booklet the gift? Chloe's head buzzed. She threw down the file. She took the box from Noah. She didn't even notice. Her hands were shaking badly. The silver-stamped red booklet lay inside. Like that figure at home, always there, yet ignored on purpose. Somehow, a huge panic rose in her chest. She felt that once she opened this divorce certificate, something would be gone for good. After several deep breaths, she opened it and saw her name beside Ethan Hayes's. Her pupils blew wide. She snapped the certificate shut. She was about to call me, then remembered I might be on the plane. Irritation rose. She forced down the urge to confront me in person. Then she called her assistant. Check Mr. Hayes's whereabouts. Find out where today's flight is headed. Yes, Ms. Sterling. Then bring him back to me right away. Also find out who processed our divorce certificate. No divorce agreement. No court filing. How are we divorced? Her voice carried panic and anger she didn't even notice. On the other end, the assistant trembled. Since joining the company, she'd been by Chloe's side. She'd never seen her this emotional. A divorce? Could it be because of that Mr. Hayes, who had always been so invisible? The assistant shook her head. Felt unreal, but she didn't show it. She just answered and went to work. Chloe stood with her hands on her hips. pacing the huge study as that unease kept growing. At last, she took out her phone and sent a friend request to me who had blocked her long ago. What is this divorce certificate? You're an adult. Why pull a stunt like this? Text me when you land. Noah and I are worried about you. After a long pause, she typed again. If there's a problem, we can sit down and talk. Don't do this. You're a father now, not a child. Every message vanished. Chloe sank into her executive chair. She rubbed her brow, exhausted. Beside her, Noah, who had been quietly playing with blocks, looked up. He asked innocently, Mom, does this gift mean Dad wants to divorce you? Hearing that, she felt a breath stuck in her chest. Her friend's words echoed in her ears. After a long while, she murmured, Ethan Hayes, have you given up on me too? Waiting always felt painfully long. Chloe lost count of how many times she checked her watch, and how many messages she sent. Not one got a reply. A strange hurt rose in her chest. They were such a good match. Everything had been fine for 5 years. How could he divorce her out of nowhere and leave without a word? Just then, her phone rang. She answered without hesitation, not even checking the caller ID. Ethan Hayes, so you finally decided to call. I sent you so many messages. Why didn't you answer? The person on the other end went quiet for a few seconds. Ms. Sterling, it's me. Chloe glanced at the phone screen. The little strength she had just gotten back drained away again. She rubbed her brow, voice low. Sorry, I was too anxious. Any news on Mr. Hayes? The assistant swallowed. Well, Ms. Sterling, here's what we found. Mr. Hayes booked an overseas flight today. But after he landed, we couldn't track his connecting flight. The assistant's voice faded. Chloe's face darkened. After a long while, she rasped, What about the divorce certificate? Did you find out? The assistant nodded on the other end. You signed the divorce agreement yourself. Forensics and legal both verified the handwriting and terms. Everything checks out. Her bottled-up anger finally beat reason. Chloe's voice went ice-cold. What do you mean everything checks out? Mr. Hayes didn't claim any of your assets in the agreement. He basically walked away with nothing. Of the assets in both your names, his shares and holdings all go to Noah. He said it counts as the child support he owes Noah. He took none of your money, and he gave up custody of Noah. On the phone, the assistant was sweating hard and wiping her forehead. Working with Chloe, she'd seen plenty and knew many elite family secrets. But she'd never seen a divorce this clean. Most couples try to skin each other alive in a divorce. Mr. Hayes, though, just left without a word. Who knew if he truly didn't care, or was just that weak? As the assistant thought, Chloe hung up. She gripped her phone, unable to snap out of it. She couldn't understand. In his eyes, hadn't their marriage been fine? How had it suddenly fallen apart? After a long silence, she breathed out, unsure if she was asking herself or the air. Ethan Hayes, what are you so unhappy about? Just then, the study door opened a crack. Noah peeked in and squeezed through on his little legs. He hugged Chloe's leg and looked up, eyes full of hope. Mom, I asked Uncle Ryan. Dad giving us the divorce certificate means I can have a new dad. Mom, hurry and marry Uncle Ryan. I want Uncle Ryan to be my new dad. Before, Chloe had taken words like that as childish nonsense. Now, they sounded painfully harsh. Was Ethan really divorcing her because of these words from their son? At that thought, she frowned and scolded him. You're only 3. What do you know? Don't ever say that again. You only have one dad. There is no new dad. Noah froze at her tone. His little mouth trembled, and he burst into tears. I want a new dad. I want Uncle Ryan as my new dad. I don't want my old dad. He's like a nanny all day. And he's no good at all. Chloe burned with anger. Who taught you to say that? She should have realized Noah was only 3. If no one had been feeding him these ideas, how would he know about divorce? How could he say Dad was just a male nanny? Noah couldn't take it and ran straight out. I hate you, Mom. If you won't get me a new dad, I'm not coming back. Chloe was in turmoil. She meant to stop him, but her phone rang again. It was Ryan. After a 2-second pause, between grabbing Noah and answering the phone, Chloe chose the call. Ryan's voice came through at once. Chloe, Mr. Brooks told me you and Ethan Hayes got divorced. What's going on? Is the kid just confused and talking nonsense? Chloe let out a breath. There's been a misunderstanding. I'm not divorcing Ethan Hayes. Anything else? Ryan was silent for a moment, sounding hurt. We were supposed to take Noah to the amusement park for fireworks today. I hadn't heard from you or Noah, so I wanted to ask. Sorry, I forgot. We'll go another time. When Chloe hung up, Noah was already gone. She didn't think much of it. With so many servants in the villa, surely they could watch one 3-year-old. But Noah vanished right under all their noses. No one saw how he left the villa. Even the outside cameras only caught him walking away alone. Chloe led a search and nearly turned the whole capital upside down, but Noah was nowhere. She called my number again and again, but all she ever heard was the same automated line. The number you dialed is powered off. Please try again later. Out of options, she had her assistant find my buddy's number. Hello, this is Chloe Sterling. Has Ethan Hayes contacted you? If you hear from him, tell him immediately. Because he wants to divorce me, Noah is missing. If he has any sense of duty as a father, he needs to come back right now. But before she could finish, my buddy snapped and cut her off. Stop. Your kid is missing, so call the cops. Why call Ethan? Does he have telepathy with the kid? Can he lock on to him? Then teleport to that little brat? And you blame the divorce for his disappearance? You all pushed him to it. Divorce was the right call. You and that ungrateful brat are both awful. He hung up, but the phone rang again. It was Ryan. Chloe answered, but only heard this. Chloe, help. Someone's trying to kidnap Noah. Let go. Noah, don't be scared. Watch out. The call cut off. Chloe had Ryan's phone signal traced at once. When they arrived, Ryan and Noah had passed out at the bottom of a dirt slope off the highway. Ryan was covered in scrapes and looked like a wreck, but Noah was held tight in his arms. Aside from some dirt on his face, he wasn't hurt at all. Everyone there was moved. Chloe's hand tightened at her side. Get them both in the ambulance first. Watching the flashing lights fade, she finally told her assistant, check what Ryan's been doing lately and who he's met. Don't miss a single clue. The assistant froze, then quickly caught on. She had searched the whole city with Miss Sterling and found no trace of Noah. So how did Mr. West find him? With so many servants in the villa, Noah was only 3. How could he slip out unseen? And if it was a real kidnapping, why ask for no ransom and dump him by the highway? Chloe had survived the business world for years. How could she not suspect such obvious holes? Soon, Chloe got proof that Ryan had staged the kidnapping. She stared at the files in silence for a long time. Withdraw the police report. Keep this quiet. Destroy the evidence. No one else can know. Publicly, Ryan saved Noah. The assistant looked stunned. Miss Sterling was covering for the man who kidnapped her own son. Before she could make sense of it, Chloe vanished down the hospital hall. Chloe opened the ward door and saw Ryan leaning in bed, pale. Her brows tightened, and her eyes turned searching. Ryan coughed weakly. How's Noah? Is he okay? He's so little. This must have scarred him. It's all Ethan's fault. He just left and abandoned his child. What kind of man is that irresponsible? I need to go see Noah. He moved to get out of bed, but Chloe grabbed him as he passed. Chloe's voice was hoarse and restrained. Whether he's a good father isn't for anyone else to judge. Ryan looked up at Chloe's cold profile. He froze. That face, usually so gentle with him, held no smile now. It was chilling. He clenched his fist. Chloe, after all these years, how am I anyone else? Then he softened his tone. I was too anxious. I misspoke. But this kidnapping was awful. Even I'm still shaken. I watched Noah grow up. I can't help worrying about him. Chloe's hand tightened slightly at her side. Her eyes on Ryan were cold and full of doubt. If it scared you so much, why hire someone to kidnap Noah? Why stage this whole show? Ryan's pale face went stiff. He blinked innocently. Chloe, what are you talking about? Chloe didn't explain. Her eyes flashed with pain and disappointment. I destroyed the evidence for you. Don't show up around Noah again. I'll send you abroad and set up your life. Don't come back. She turned to leave, but Ryan lunged forward and hugged her waist. Chloe, don't send me away. If I did wrong, I can change. We've been together all these years. Chloe stayed unmoved and grabbed his wrist. She tried to pull him off. Ryan panicked. Chloe, why are you doing this? I admit I rushed it. I just want to marry the woman I love. What's wrong with that? I don't care that Noah is another man's child. I'll treat him well. Chloe shoved him off, her cold eyes full of confusion. Shouldn't the woman you love be my late sister? The one I've loved has always been you. All these years, you stayed with me, cared for me, protected me. You remember my birthday better than I do. You come whenever I call. You treat me better than your own husband. How can you not love me? A string seemed to snap in Chloe's mind. Chloe let go of Ryan's hand and stepped back. I only cared for you to honor my sister's last wish. I have no romantic feelings for you, and I won't marry you. The private jet will be ready today. Leave as soon as you can. Then Chloe left the ward without looking back. Far away in Finland, I knew nothing about any of this. I got a Finnish residence permit and applied to a local university. I planned to chase my old dream and become a diplomatic interpreter. Before school started, I used my savings to buy a small house. I heard you could see the northern lights here in winter. I looked forward to living alone and owning my time. I taught myself Finnish and took German, Japanese, and Spanish. In sophomore year, I got into a special program for international students. With school and work keeping me busy, I rarely thought about the past. My marriage to Chloe felt like a distant past. Here, I was simply a whole, independent person. In my 5th year in Finland, I joined the embassy there. I became a diplomatic interpreter. But I didn't know. After 6 years, Chloe had never stopped looking for me. In the Sterling Group CEO's office, the assistant looked thrilled. "Ms. Sterling, we found Mr. Hayes. He's at the embassy in Finland." Chloe shot to her feet, rare joy showing on her face. The assistant was stunned. She hadn't seen Ms. Sterling smile in 6 years. Since Mr. Hayes divorced her, even closing billion-dollar deals had never brought out that smile. Chloe stood and headed out. But at the door, she turned back. "I need his current details. Get on it now." Joy surged in her chest. Chloe couldn't stop smiling. Her eyes moved to the family photo on her desk. Her gaze lingered over my gentle face. "I'll clear up our misunderstandings and bring you back to me." I never tried to learn how Chloe and Noah were living now. To me, they must have gotten what they wanted. The husband and father they were happy with. Every day, I interpreted meetings and translated documents. Life was full. Until one day, my supervisor brought me a Chinese language proposal for a new energy project. "Ethan, you're the best person in our department. Business Finland is taking this proposal very seriously. I hope you can finish the translation soon." I looked at the inch-thick proposal and gave him a confident smile. "Don't worry, sir. I'll get it done." But when I opened the proposal, I saw it was from Sterling Group. Chloe Sterling. Her familiar figure flashed through my mind. I shook my head, took a deep breath, and reassured myself. Sterling Group had projects all over the world. It made sense they'd want to start one in Finland. It was probably just a coincidence. After several all-nighters, I brought the translated proposal and knocked on my supervisor's office door. He skimmed a few pages and nodded. "No wonder the senior official praised you during his visit. Your skills really are something." After 2 years working with him, I knew his style. When he started praising you, a tough job was coming. But who doesn't like hearing praise? Most of our division got flattered into his schemes. "Sir, stop keeping me in suspense. Just tell me the assignment. Praise me any more and my ego will hit the ceiling." Sterling Group back home is coming to Finland for a site visit. Finland is taking it seriously too. I've signed you up as the diplomatic interpreter. Life can't be all work. You need a personal life too. You're still single, right? I hear Sterling Group's representative is young and impressive. Use this chance to get to know each other. My heart skipped. Sterling? Couldn't be Chloe. Could it? Couldn't be that big a coincidence, right? When Sterling Group's representative arrived, my supervisor took me to the airport. "Ethan, Finland has prepared a dinner for Sterling Group's representative. It won't be too formal, so relax while you interpret. Don't be nervous. I'll introduce you to the representative soon." As soon as he said that, he waved behind me. "Miss Sterling, over here." When my supervisor led me up to Chloe, I was still frozen, not fully back to myself. 6 years had passed, but time seemed to have left no mark on her. She was as quiet as ever, until my supervisor nudged me forward and introduced me with a smile. "Miss Sterling, let me introduce you. This is Ethan Hayes, with the Foreign Ministry's Translation Division at our embassy in Finland. He'll be your accompanying interpreter for this trip. Don't let Ethan's young, handsome face fool you. He speaks 5 languages." Chloe stared straight at me, her eyes searching. There was also an emotion I couldn't name. I smiled and held out my hand, polite but distant. "Miss Sterling, a pleasure." She stared at me, unreadable, then finally shook my hand. Running into Chloe was unexpected. I just wanted to get it over with and leave, but she held on tight. After 2 tries, I frowned. My voice lowered. "Miss Sterling, what are you doing?" My supervisor looked between us and seemed to sense the tension. He quickly smoothed it over. "Interpreter Hayes does leave quite an impression. Looks like Miss Sterling is no exception." Chloe's eyes darkened. She let go and forced a rare smile. "True." She said nothing more and, as I wished, released my hand. Dinner started soon. I didn't dwell on her. So what if we had to interact briefly? She couldn't have come just for me. I steadied myself and sat beside Chloe, calmly translating every word. She crossed her long legs, elegant and poised, tilting her head as she listened. I paused. During the 5 years Chloe and I wore each other down, she had never listened to me this closely. A dull ache rose in my chest, not for her, but for myself. For the years my soul was trapped inside the shell of a sterling son-in-law. Thankfully, I was finally out. Chloe's voice went on. I'd like to know about Finland's taxes and labor laws. Her voice was low and slow. After each sentence, she quietly looked at me. Her gaze was calm and focused. I instinctively looked away. I kept it professional and did my job. The dinner talks went smoothly. When we parted, I tightened my scarf against Finland's wind and snow. In sheepskin gloves, I briefly shook Chloe's hand. Miss Sterling, it was a pleasure working with you. Then I turned to leave. The second I opened the car door, Ethan. The woman behind me suddenly called my name. I stopped but didn't turn. I waited in silence until the wind left my fingers stiff. At last, her voice came again. Don't you have anything to say to me? Maybe it was my imagination, but her hoarse voice carried a strange hurt. My heart trembled. I told myself it was just Finland's polar night. Miss Sterling, I finished all the interpreting needed at dinner. As for anything else, I have nothing to say. But Chloe didn't seem willing to let me leave. Her usual cool restraint carried a hint of panic. Ethan, you divorced me without a word back then. Even if you didn't think of me, did you not think of Noah? It's been 6 years. Noah is 9 now. Don't you miss him at all? I turned around and smiled calmly. Why would I miss a child who took his father's sacrifices for granted? Besides, he must be thrilled to have a new dad now. Snow fell on Chloe's shoulders. She looked at me, confused. Then she gave in with a sigh, stepped through the snow, and softened her voice. Noah didn't dismiss what you did. He was just too young. He didn't know how to love yet. He won't have any so-called new dad. His only dad is you. I looked at Chloe and found it almost funny. Love has nothing to do with age. Chloe and Noah could remember Ryan West's birthday. They could carve him a charm by hand. How could they not know love? They just didn't love me. I leaned against the car and studied her. I couldn't help wondering, if I were still her husband now, would she stand here and speak to me this calmly for this long? I shook my head and laughed at myself. Chloe frowned, confused. What are you laughing at? I didn't flinch under her stare. When something is funny, don't you laugh? Chloe Sterling, divorced or not, we're not on reminiscing terms. You barely know me. And I have no interest in revisiting a past tied to you. I ignored her hesitant look and got straight in the car. I hit the gas and roared off. Back home. After washing up, I fell into bed. A deep exhaustion washed over me, and I soon fell asleep. Late at night, the neighbor's hound started barking wildly and woke me. I took a few deep breaths, got dressed, and checked by the window. Chloe was still in that black dress, standing outside my door. I had no idea how she found my address. During Finland's polar night, it's 20 or 30 below. Dressed like that, if she stood out there all night, I'd find a human ice sculpture by morning. I had no idea what she wanted. Still, I opened the door and let my ex-wife in. After all, I didn't want her dying on my doorstep. By the warm fireplace, I politely handed Chloe a cup of coffee. She was so cold she couldn't stop shaking. She held the warm cup in both hands, then finally breathed out and smiled at me. Thank you. My eyes flickered. She rarely smiled at me. Most of the time, she was cold and blank. Chloe Sterling, what do you want? Chloe lowered her eyes. The frost on her lashes slowly melted. Maybe it was because of the cold. Her voice had a faint tremble. I want to know why we got divorced. I frowned at her face. She met my eyes openly. Her eyes held real confusion. My heart twisted with mixed feelings. So everything I went through in those 5 years had truly been ignored. I exhaled, suddenly regretting letting her in. I should have turned off the lights and let her freeze outside. After a long pause, she said 2 unfamiliar syllables. Ethan. How funny. The first time she seriously said my name was 6 years after our divorce. I couldn't help looking at Chloe with sarcasm. Chloe Sterling, have you ever thought that maybe not knowing why we divorced is exactly why we divorced? Chloe's body stiffened. Rare confusion showed in her eyes. She was always like this. A privileged background, a successful career, a sharp mind. They let her handle everything with ease. They also made her indifferent to everything around her. As if no matter how things changed, they would never leave the path she set. Maybe I was one of her few surprises. For some reason, my eyes grew hot, but I quickly shifted my posture. and pushed down that ache in my chest. Chloe Sterling, before the divorce, I told you many times, since you and Noah liked Ryan West so much, I agreed to the divorce. I would also give up custody of Noah and leave with nothing. Our marital assets would go under Noah's name. It would count as child support from his unwanted father. I told you all of that word for word. At that point, I looked at Chloe. Do you remember any of it? Chloe's hands tightened around the cup. Her brows drew together as if she were trying to remember, but the blank look in her eyes gave her away. She couldn't remember a thing. Of course, I knew that would happen, because she had never truly listened to anything I said as her husband. Back then, to her, I was a partner in name only. Chloe lowered her head, her voice heavy with guilt. I'm sorry, I really don't remember you saying that. Maybe I was busy then. But if that's why you divorced me, I really can't accept that reason. Then what about the perfume on your clothes every night? Is that reason enough for me to divorce you? Chloe's expression froze. She seemed to finally catch the contradiction in my words. Then she shook her head, as if she couldn't believe it. Ryan West, you divorced me because of him? Doubt deepened in Chloe's voice, as if divorcing over Ryan West was crazier than divorcing because she never listened to me. I just drank my coffee and nodded calmly. Yes, every day you came home, smelling like Ryan West. And every time Noah opened his mouth, he wanted Uncle Ryan to be his new dad. Was I supposed to keep shamelessly clinging to the Sterling's son-in-law title I never wanted? Chloe's face went rarely pale. So you thought I cheated? I raised one finger and waved it in front of her. I didn't think it. When you brought Ryan West to every event and let people introduce him without shame. When your friends mocked me and joked that you and Ryan were a better match. When you wanted to rush off to Ryan. So badly you signed the divorce papers without looking. Whether you cheated didn't matter anymore. I divorced you because I refused to die trapped in the cage of being the Sterling's son-in-law. Chloe Sterling. I wouldn't be that fake man with an empty title. Divorcing you was just me refusing to die trapped as the Sterling's son-in-law. Chloe Sterling, I wouldn't be a fake man with only a title. I never wanted that either. Chloe's lashes trembled. She stayed silent for a long time. Maybe she hadn't expected me to say this. Maybe she never cared how I really felt. She just wanted a chance to review her own failure. But to me, none of that mattered, because she liked Ryan West. She remembered his birthday and planned gifts and surprises. She knew all his likes by heart. She loved Ryan West. So my failed marriage wouldn't follow her into her future one. I raised my hand and checked the time. It was 4:30 a.m. Exhaustion hit. I asked her to leave. Miss Sterling, you should have your answer now, right? Please leave now. I need to rest. Before I could finish, I heard a clear, solemn apology. For a moment, I froze. The words in my throat never came out. Chloe stared at me without blinking. I'm sorry. I didn't know any of this. The details I missed made you suffer so much. I was wrong. I apologize. I almost found it funny. Getting arrogant Chloe to apologize had to make me one of a kind. Then Chloe suddenly spoke and cut into my thoughts. But there's one thing I don't agree with. I never cheated. I don't love Ryan West. I cared for him and gave him what he asked for. To honor my sister's last wish. I didn't correct people when they called him my brother-in-law, because I thought, if my sister were still alive, he really would be my brother-in-law. It doesn't matter anymore. My cold tone seemed to hurt her. Pain flashed in her eyes. No, it does matter. It matters. These 6 years, Noah and I missed you. I want to clear the hurt and bring you back home. For a second, I thought Chloe was joking. I waited 10 years for freedom, and now she wanted me back. A laugh burst from my chest. Couldn't hold it in. Shock flashed across Chloe's face. She truly didn't seem to know why I was laughing. I wiped the tears from my eyes and took a few deep breaths to calm down. Chloe Sterling, are you kidding? I fought hard to divorce you. Now I have my own career. Why would I come back? And come back for what? To run around like your maid and go to your office every day. With that stupid seafood kanji? You feel guilty toward your sister and want to honor her wish. Fine, take care of Ryan West. Why drag me into it? I don't owe your sister. I don't owe Ryan. And I sure don't owe you. Chloe tried to say more, but I was already at the door. I yanked it open. Snowy wind rushed in. Get out. Don't make me say it again. Chloe finally left. I was exhausted, but I couldn't sleep. I forced myself through the night. In the morning, I dragged myself to the translation division. But as soon as I reached the office, a supervisor was waiting. He spoke with great seriousness. Ethan, you haven't been here that long, but your attitude is great, and your skills are solid. Sterling Group is launching a new energy project in Finland. It will greatly benefit relations between our countries. Finnish officials want to use this chance to visit our country with Ms. Sterling. They need an interpreter, so I put your name forward. This time, you'll represent our foreign ministry back home. You've been away 6 years. Use this chance to see your family. I listened with a smile, but inside, I was screaming. This was all Chloe's fault. She showed up and trouble followed. Still, I forced a smile and stood up. Rest assured, sir. I'll get it done. That afternoon, Chloe, the delegation, and I boarded the charter home. I don't know who arranged the seats, but Chloe and I had only one armrest between us. I rubbed my tired brow and turned away from her. Neither of us had slept, but Chloe looked fine. Soon, a soft, thick blanket was draped over me. Chloe moved carefully, as if afraid to wake me. I wasn't asleep, but I still wouldn't look at her. To me, she was someone I had truly loved. She was also the chain that trapped me. What we had ended the moment we signed the divorce papers. I just never expected that right after landing I would see the son tied to me only by blood. Noah stood in the waiting area, holding Mrs. Sterling's hand. At 9, he had grown taller. His eyes were red. The second he saw me, he shouted, "Dad." The delegation leaders exchanged looks. Someone quietly asked what was going on. I smiled politely and answered without missing a beat. Maybe this little boy can't find his dad. Chloe's face darkened at once, so she understood Finnish. Noah tried to come over, but Mrs. Sterling held him back. The dignified old woman didn't let him keep crying. She led him away. Mrs. Sterling wasn't here out of kindness. This wasn't a father-son reunion. Maybe she wanted to use Noah to force me into something. Maybe not. But now, I had no reason to obey anymore. Over the next few days, I accompanied the Finnish delegation around Sterling Group. It went smoothly. After all, Chloe never made mistakes at work. But once the visit ended, she came to me. "Would you come home with me? Noah really misses you." "Misses me?" I shook my head. No, he never liked me. After 6 years away, he should hate me even more. He wants Ryan West as his dad, and you want to honor your sister's wish. So marry Ryan already, then everyone wins. That way, some future husband won't have to help you care for him. Chloe let out a tired sigh. "Ethan Hayes, do we really have to talk like this?" I gave her a cold glance. "Don't like it? We didn't have to talk at all." Then I packed up and went straight back to my hotel. As for the Sterling house, there was no need to go back. When I heard my buddy was also back home, my mood lifted. I quickly asked him to meet. The moment we saw each other, I saw his eyes light up. He took my hand and turned me around several times. Then he hugged me inside. "This is great, bro. This is who you were always meant to be." We hadn't seen each other in 6 years. When buddies reunite, there's always too much to say. Once we got talking, hours flew by. We were deep in it when my phone suddenly rang. It was an unknown local number. I frowned and hesitated. In the end, I answered. A cautious female voice came through. "Hello, is this Noah Hayes' father? I'm his homeroom teacher. Noah got into a fight at school. I was calling his mom, but he asked me to call you." My buddy, cut off mid-sentence, snatched my phone. "No, you've got the wrong number." Then he hung up. "Is Chloe insane? You're divorced and you gave up custody. You've been back only a few days. She's just making trouble." Before he finished, the phone rang again. I answered. The teacher sounded anxious and impatient. "Noah's father? I'm here. Please come quickly. Adult issues shouldn't hurt the child. Besides, Noah split another student's head open. The other parents want you to take their kid to the hospital." My buddy and I had no choice but to rush to the school. In the teacher's office, several kids were scuffed and dirty, but every other kid had parents there. Only Noah stood alone. The injured kid's parent held their child and tore into Noah. "You're so young. How can you hit that viciously? Didn't your dad teach you not to hit people?" Before the parent finished, the other kids burst out laughing. They chanted, "No, Dad!" Noah's eyes went red with rage. Like a little wolf cub, he charged in to fight again. Clearly, the Sterlings had given him formal combat training. But the other kid had parents protecting him. When Noah saw me at the door, his eyes reddened at once. I saw tears welling up, but he bit his lower lip hard. Then he stubbornly turned away and got up. I ignored Noah's sulking, walked in, and scanned the room. I gave a simple introduction. "I'm Noah Hayes' biological father. His mother and I are divorced, and I don't have custody. As for compensation, you can discuss that with his mother, Chloe Sterling." Noah looked up at me in disbelief. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw him wipe his eyes. He moved fast like he was afraid I'd notice. Didn't this kid always push me to divorce his mom? So where were these tears coming from now? At Chloe's name, the parents exchanged looks, their anger fading. Chloe Sterling's name had long ruled the business headlines. Few people truly didn't know who she was. This small issue was easy to fix, even without her showing up. Yet Noah insisted on dumping it on me. Did he think that would make me feel like his dad again? Did he forget love has to go both ways? Noah's father, even if you divorced Miss Sterling, Noah hit someone. You still owe us an explanation. I nodded, my gaze landing lightly on Noah. Why did you fight? Noah stiffened his neck and refused to speak. If you won't talk, wait for your mom. I don't have time for this. Before I finished, Noah snapped like an enraged little beast. They said I don't have a dad. Happy now? Why won't mom marry Uncle Ryan? He'd never ignore me like you do. I hate you. I waited for him to finish yelling, then raised a brow. When your mom and I were married, you wanted Ryan West as your dad. Yelling at me made some sense then, but now we're divorced. If you want someone else as your dad, go find him yourself. The parents exchanged looks. Their whispers reached my ears. A kid that young pushed his parents to divorce. No wonder his dad doesn't want him. I think I've seen Ryan West. He's always at big events with Miss Sterling. I thought he was her husband. Turns out he's the other man. Noah was in his rebellious phase. He couldn't take that. He turned to run out, but after a few steps, he backed in. Chloe strode in with her assistant and guards, expressionless and intimidating. The whole office felt crowded the moment she arrived. Her sharp gaze swept over everyone. What happened? Everyone looked around. No one spoke. Noah seemed afraid of her too, head down, barely breathing. I gave her a flat look. Good, you're here. As the child's guardian, this is yours to handle. I'm leaving. I ignored the two calling after me. My buddy was fuming when I returned. You shouldn't have bothered with that ungrateful brat. You have no idea. After you left back then, he screamed for Ryan West to be his new dad. Chloe slapped him, so he ran away and almost got kidnapped. I heard Ryan West risked his life to save him. Guess those two really were a perfect match. My buddy and I headed to a bar, and I soon forgot the school drama. But when we came out tipsy, we ran right into Chloe and Noah. She was holding his hand, waiting outside for who knew how long. The moment she saw me, her eyes trembled. Ethan, let's talk. Chloe never stopped until she got what she wanted. I didn't want to waste time tangled up with her. So I had my buddy call a driver and head home, then got in with them. Noah sat up front. Chloe and I sat in the back. The air was so heavy, I could almost hear the driver swallow. The car finally stopped outside a restaurant. A server politely came to open the door, but Chloe beat him to it. I ignored the hand she offered and got out myself. It was the restaurant I'd booked for my birthday 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I asked Chloe to spend my birthday with me. She never replied. She even booked the place for Ryan West, so I didn't get a meal. 6 years later, she was booking it for me. Too bad I didn't need any of this anymore. I sat down and cut to the chase. Say what you want. But two things first. No custody transfer and no remarriage. Chloe frowned, hesitating. Noah glared at me, his red eyes close to tears. But I no longer stayed up all night just because he cried. Finally, Chloe spoke first. If you didn't like me, why did you marry me back then? I always thought we were a good match. You were the perfect Sterling son-in-law. A faint trace of pain showed in her eyes. But I sank into that memory that chilled me to the bone. You don't think someone who was top of his class could hate studying, do you? At 16, your family chose me to be trained as a Sterling son-in-law. I hated it, acted out, dated someone, then got sent to that academy. They only let me out when our wedding date came. I still don't want to think about that time. So I never cared to be your husband. Not then. Not now. I did once dream of a loving wife and a devoted son. But you shattered that hope yourselves and made me see. This was a cage that would kill me if I stayed. Now I have a new life. The best thing you can do is leave me alone. As for this place, that night 6 years ago, it made me sick. I didn't give them a chance to respond. I grabbed my bag and left. At the door, I heard a choked voice behind me. I didn't know you went through all that, but I still want to ask. If you wanted a loving marriage, does that mean you once liked me? If so, is there any chance we can start over? Even just a little? I didn't turn back or answer. But at noon the next day, my long-absent father showed up. He wore a fawning, apologetic smile. Where have you been all these years? Why never call home? I looked at the new gray at his temples, unsure what to feel. The man who once had total power over me was now bowing his head to me, as if everything that once trapped me wasn't unbeatable after all. Mr. Hayes, say what you came to say. No need to circle around it. He didn't expect that cold tone from me. His smile stiffened, almost cracking. I'm not here for anything big. You haven't been home in years. Could you come home for dinner? Miss Sterling has been very good to our family lately. I can tell she still has feelings for you. You divorced her without even discussing it with us. Now that you're back, why don't both families sit down again? After all, since you were 16, weren't you meant to marry Miss Sterling? I heard what he really meant. My smile grew colder. You mean Chloe Sterling and I could remarry? My father nodded hard. Calculation returned to his shrewd, cloudy eyes. I sneered. What did the Sterlings promise you this time? Resources? Partnerships? Projects? If the Hayes family can only survive by selling its son, it should go bankrupt. I showed no mercy. My father's smile finally collapsed. A few years away and now you think you're grown? Is that how you talk to your father? If some loudmouth hadn't told Chloe Sterling that I sent you to that academy, she wouldn't have suddenly pulled her investment from us. In one night, Hayes Group lost half its market value. Today, no matter what, you're coming with me to see her. He reached for my arm. I shook him off, but I agreed to go back with him. It was time to cut away the rotten growth called the Hayes family. An hour later, at the Sterling estate, I saw Chloe again in the parlor. Noah sat beside her. I ignored them and took a seat. Chloe chose her words, then spoke. Ethan Hayes, today I don't need to hear why you're here. The best thing you can do is not show up. Chloe's eyes dimmed. After a long while, she exhaled. I didn't mean to force you. She still didn't finish. This time, my father cut her off. My father smiled and set a fine bottle of wine on the table. He put on a warm act for Chloe and Noah. Come, try this bottle I've been saving. Ethan has been stubborn since he was a kid. I've already scolded him. He came back this time to build a good life with you, Miss Sterling. Why don't we pick a lucky date and hold another wedding? He bowed and scraped as he filled Chloe's glass. Maybe in his eyes, I had always been an accessory, a tool to trade for profit. Anything but an independent person. But the reply didn't come from Chloe. The Hayes front door was shoved open. Several bodyguards pushed in. Then an elderly man in a government-style jacket walked in. What era is this? Still doing arranged marriages? And trying to poach people from my foreign ministry? The whole Hayes home went cold and tense. My father hurried over to flatter the official. What brings you here, sir? The old official snorted, his stare sharp as ice. The 1950 marriage law abolished arranged marriage. Yet today you forced our foreign ministry colleague here. That disrespects him and challenges the system. You're trying to turn back the clock. Those two sentences left my father frozen. Even the son who once treated me like a nanny stared blankly at the old official. What foreign ministry colleague? This is a family dinner. How could anyone from the foreign ministry be here? You must be joking. The senior official ignored him and gave me a kind smile. Ethan, come here. Seeing the old man look at me, my father's confusion deepened. Sir, are you sure you have the right person? My son never even went to college. How could he be with the foreign ministry? A few years ago, he ran off over a divorce. Please don't. Before he could finish, the bodyguards restrained him. Under everyone's stunned gaze, I stood and walked to the old official, apologetic. Sir, I'm sorry. My family mess made you come all this way. Before my father brought me here, I texted my buddy, also a diplomat. This old man was a senior official in our foreign ministry. When I first joined, I'd met him once. He waved it off. You're an outstanding member of the foreign ministry. Young, fluent in 5 languages and highly capable. I ended your family leave early. Any objections? None at all. I've been dying to get back to work. He nodded. A government-plated state sedan drove through the Hayes gates. Several police cars followed. I saw the senior official into the back seat and had just shut the door when people from the police cars showed my father their IDs. Our investigation shows the academy you sent Ethan Hayes to had serious violations. Please come with us for questioning. I didn't do anything. This has nothing to do with me. Why are you arresting me? My father shouted his innocence, but no one cared. The family dinner ended in disaster. I was about to leave with the senior official when a voice called behind me, Dad. My hand tightened on the car door. The senior official looked at me and nodded. The foreign service isn't like other jobs. You're stationed overseas for years. You rarely get to see family. Some things are better settled early. With that, the senior official left first. I turned to Chloe and Noah. Noah clutched his mother's hand. His eyes were full of tears. He forced his head up, as if fighting to hold them back. Do you really not want to be my dad anymore? Do you not want me? Noah bit his lip, struggling to speak. Mom and I have missed you all these years. I often see her in the study staring at your photo. I was too young when I said those things. Can you forgive me? Looking at him, I suddenly felt sad. He was my child, after all. It was impossible to say I didn't ache for him. I can let it go now, but I can't forgive for the man I was back then. So I looked at him, calm and gentle. We didn't have much time together. In those brief 3 years, for half of it, you didn't fully understand the world. Back then, I held you every day and kept teaching you to talk. But you probably don't remember much. Later, when you had a basic sense of the world, you wanted someone else to be dad more than you wanted me. You were only a little kid, but the hurt I felt was real. For 6 years after that, I missed your growth and your education. By rights, I have no place to blame you or teach you anything. But today, I still want to tell you one thing. Even if you were just a child, being a child isn't a free pass. Noah, it doesn't make everything forgivable. As soon as I finished, a desperate scream came from behind me. Dad, I know I was wrong. I paused, but didn't stay. Call me cold or irresponsible. Whatever people said, I had already given Noah the best of everything. With Chloe, he could get the best education. He wouldn't lack care or love. Someday he'd inherit Sterling Group. He had far more than he knew. At that, a faint smile touched my lips, and I walked out faster. The day I returned to Finland, Chloe came to see me off. She didn't ask about remarrying again. She just looked at me quietly. Ethan, if I could do it over, I would cherish you. I would love you, not lose you and regret it like this. I always thought you'd stay by my side. I just never thought that nothing I did ever made you happy. Ethan, I'm truly sorry. I didn't answer. I just looked up at the boarding sign. You saw me off last time too, didn't you? Only back then, we never said a proper goodbye. Chloe, this time let's say goodbye properly. Can you? After a long pause, she still couldn't finish a sentence. I stood before her and opened my arms. Don't look so sad. I guess I'm an old friend who knows you. Give me a hug. Before I could finish, I was suddenly wrapped in a warm embrace. Chloe's scent wrapped around me. She held me very, very tight. I sighed and gently patted Chloe's back. Her shoulders shook so hard, even I could barely breathe. When I spoke, my voice cracked. Please take better care of Noah from now on. If you meet the right person, build a new family. Remember to treat that person well. Chloe held me and shook her head. A cold drop fell on my neck. I couldn't help thinking fate really knew how to toy with people. I always thought Chloe felt nothing for me, so I left without looking back. I thought my leaving was the best answer for everyone. But in the end, we had missed each other. Maybe to Chloe, this was a regret too. She spoke by my ear, painfully hoarse. It hurts that I never once held you like this before. Heat rose in my eyes, but then I smiled and let it go. Doesn't matter now, Chloe. We both need to move on. Don't look back. She held my hand and met my eyes, deadly serious. I won't have another husband. Noah will only ever have one dad. I know the past hurt you, and you don't want to forgive us. But Noah and I will wait. If one day you want to see us, tell me. Wherever I am, I'll bring Noah to you right away. My door will always be open. Before she finished, a small figure rushed out from behind a pillar. Noah's eyes were red as he choked out. Dad, I know I was wrong. I'll wait for you. I'll wait until you want to be my dad again. I crouched down, like I had comforted him countless times as a child, and gently wiped the tears from his face. I'm sorry, Noah. I can't always stay by your side. But I'll always be your dad. No one can change that. But before I can be dad, I have to be myself first. Passengers on Finnair flight AY52, please proceed to the gate for boarding. Attention, passengers to Helsinki. Your flight is now boarding. I stood, touched Noah's head one last time, and looked at Chloe. Take him home. Then I picked up my small suitcase and turned away. The plane climbed above the clouds, and the city became a grid of lights. Maybe blood ties would still give us countless chances to meet. But my choice would never change. The road ahead was still long. This time I would live only for myself.